At the end of the century, a mysterious virus known as the RR virus appears in Earth's atmosphere, killing 2 billion people and mutating animals into monsters. In an attempt to destroy these monsters, the governments of the world used nuclear weapons. While the monsters survived, human civilization was all but wiped out. 5 nations survived and formed an alliance, providing shelter for humanity in large bases. Much like the animals of Earth, the humans have also gained powers, allowing some of them to be warriors, humanity's defenders against the monsters that plague the planet. Our story starts with a boy named Luo Feng and his classmate looking out over the wreckage of one of humanity's broken cities. The two remark that it would be cool to explore them, but only warriors are allowed out there. Luo Feng looks out on the broken cities and believes he sees something in the sky, but dismisses it as nothing. Luo Feng had in fact seen a monster in the sky, a powerful creature called a black-crowned golden eagle. At first, jets are dispatched to take it down, but when they fail, the military calls for a warrior to fight it. Luo Feng makes his way down into the city, where the news broadcasts that new research has cut the RR virus's airborne survival time by 30 minutes. He and his classmate begin talking about how everyone already has antibodies to the RR virus, and that is what allows humanity to produce warriors. As they walk, Luo Feng locks eyes with a girl from his class named Zhu Xin. Both his friend and her friends clearly sense a mutual attraction and leave them alone. But before he can talk to her, another classmate of his, the wealthy and arrogant Zhang Haobai, pulls up in a fancy car and offers to take her home. The black-crowned golden eagle appears in the sky, causing havoc and destroying Zhang Haobai's car. The shockwaves from the black-crowned golden eagle's supersonic flight causes all of the building's windows to shatter, sending shards of glass flying down at Zhu Xin. Time seems to slow down as Luo Feng swoops Zhu Xin up in his arms and dodges around the shards of falling glass. The black-crowned golden eagle sends diamond-hard feathers down at Luo Feng and Zhu Xin, but just as the feathers are about to skewer them, a warrior's blade flies in and destroys the feathers. An armored warrior drops down onto the blade as Luo Feng looks on in awe. The black-crowned golden eagle and the warrior both fly into a cloud, with only their shadows illuminated. With a single blow, the warrior kills the black-crowned golden eagle, and Luo Feng is amazed by the speed and power of the warrior, and reiterates to himself that he hopes to become one someday. Zhang Haobai, a wealthy student in class with Luo Feng, approaches him and tells him that he too wants to be a warrior, but that he is far closer to that dream than Luo Feng is. Zhang Haobai and 2 other senior martial arts students challenge Luo Feng to a fight as a car pulls up with instructor Zhang, the head of the martial arts club. He watches, inquiring who Luo Feng is. As the driver tells them that they have no data on Luo Feng, the students begin to fight. Despite being outnumbered 3-1, and Zhang Haobai having brass knuckles, Luo Feng easily defeats all 3 of them, impressing instructor Zhang. After the fight, Luo Feng laments that his family cannot afford to live in a nice city like the one he goes to school in. He makes his way down to the slums to his home, where it is revealed that he has a wheelchair-bound brother. He reflects on how getting to the military academy would allow him to afford a house with an elevator so his brother can leave the house with his wheelchair, something he currently cannot do. He also reflects on how his father wouldn't have to work so hard, and his parents could sleep in a bed instead of on the couch. Zhang Haobai has thugs follow Luo Feng back to his house, and the day of the exam, they attack him in an alleyway. He fights them off, beating them, but arriving 15 minutes late to the exam because of this. The proctor initially refuses to allow him to take the exam, but instructor Zhang vouches for him, and he is allowed to take the exam. Zhang Haobai isn't through causing trouble yet, and signals for 2 students to get in a fight, knocking Luo Feng's exam paper under Zhang Haobai's foot, where he steps on it. In a rush to finish the exam, Luo Feng passes out. It is revealed that Zhang Haobai's uncle is an elite warrior. Luo Feng wakes up in the infirmary, where Zhu Xin greets him, revealing that he has been in a coma for 3 days, and thanking him for saving her the other day from the monster. Zhang Haobai arrives and pretends to be friends with Luo Feng in front of Zhu Xin. As he leaves, an angry Luo Feng squeezes the bed frame of his hospital bed hard enough to bend the metal, surprising himself with his strength. Instructor Zhang arrives and tells him that despite failing the examination, he is powerful enough to take the test to become a warrior to be, and that if he passes that, he will be allowed to take the warrior field test. Instructor Zhang also explains that there is another portion to becoming a warrior that is only revealed after the test is passed, but that it is a much quicker path than going to college, and that Luo Feng would be able to make enough money to give his family the life they deserve. Luo Feng decides that in order to make money for his family, he will sign up for the test to become a warrior to be. Luo Feng's father heads out on a special job that promises to bring some extra money to the family, while Luo Feng is picked up by Instructor Zhang and introduced to Yang Wu, another potential warrior to be taking the test that day. Yang Wu asks Luo Feng what he wants to do if he passes the test, explaining that there are 4 options. Join the army to defeat the city during monster attacks, join a martial arts club and go out to attack monsters, joining a syndicate to help revitalize the economy, or become a mercenary to maintain order in remote areas. While excited by the wealth he could acquire for his family as a warrior, Luo Feng laments that he will likely never see Zhu Zhen again, as she is going to become part of society's wealthy elite. Meanwhile, back at the school, Zhu Zhen wonders where Luo Feng is, and Zhang Haobai gets a call and exits the classroom, and while he's gone, the rest of the class finds out that Luo Feng is taking the Warrior to Be exam, marveling at how cool that is. At the exam site, Luo Feng sees the warrior who had saved him from the monster in the first episode. A man named Wu Tong greets them at the testing facility and leads them each to a special chair with a visor. Luo Feng is seated in a special chair that sends him to a projection of one of humanity's wrecked cities, with the other test entrance. He and the other warriors to be fight monsters as the test begins. At first, Luo Feng is confused and scared as the other applicants kill monsters around him. But he remembers what it is he's fighting for, his family, and begins to take out the monsters himself. He fights a one-horned boar monster with his sword, and Yang Wu remarks that he is a very talented fighter. Luo Feng's sword gets stuck in the boar monster, and he uses his bare fists to take out a tiger mastiff monster. The group dispatches the monsters and goes to look for more. As the test goes on, we see that the job Luo Feng's father took on was at Zhang Haobai's house. As the test takers make their way through a building, they find themselves faced with an extremely powerful monster, a golden vulture. As the golden vulture takes down his teammates, Luo Feng picks up a sword and readies himself for battle. He avoids the golden vulture's attacks, only to have his sword snap in half against its head. It takes flight with him clinging to its side. As it dives, he plunges the broken sword into its eye. He is thrown off, and the injured golden vulture kills him, waking him up from the simulation. To his surprise, he not only passed the test, but scored the highest of all the applicants. He and the others who passed the test, including Yang Wu, are told that they will take the field test in a month, and that there is a reward for passing the test that will help them on the field test, something called genetic energy practices. Back at Zhang Haobai's house, Zhang Haobai falsely accuses Luo Feng's father of cracking his expensive floor and shoves him. He orders his men to beat Luo Feng's father and his crew. Luo Feng intervenes and easily defeats Zhang Haobai and his thugs. But Zhang Haobai had cameras set up so he could have Luo Feng arrested for hitting him. Zhu Zhen sees Luo Feng being taken by the police. He is brought to a detention center where he agrees to cooperate while the police investigate, as long as they deal with him fairly. His father is free to go, and while his family begs for his release, the police say they must investigate further. In the jail cell, a large inmate asks Luo Feng to massage him. When Luo Feng refuses, the man reveals himself to have once passed the Warrior to Be test and attacks him. While the inmate's strength is immense, he is not as fast or as skilled as Luo Feng, who eventually defeats him. Another inmate reveals that if a Warrior to Be gets into trouble, they will be disqualified, which is what Zhang Haobai wanted all along. Zhang Haobai hires a man named Zhao to send thugs into the detention center to mess with Luo Feng. Initially, Zhu refuses, saying his men cannot take on a Warrior to Be in a fight. But Zhang Haobai clarifies that they just have to mess with him, and that he has a man on the inside. Cobra is seen having pummeled a group of inmates. He's offered money, a position on the Hoya Warrior Squad, and to have his record of having killed someone in the Warrior to Be field test in exchange for killing Luo Feng. Instructor Zhang reveals that Cobra is significantly stronger than the junior warriors, and that he killed a record number of participants in the field test. Zhu Jin calls the head of the prison that Luo Feng is being kept in to testify that she witnessed the fight in the mansion. As Instructor Zhang and Wu Tong go over Luo Feng's test results, they remark that while he is skilled, he is inexperienced and would be in danger if faced with an opponent like Cobra in the field test. They wonder if he'll be able to complete the next step to becoming a warrior, grasping 5 acupoints skyward. Senator Zhu, the warrior who saved Luo Feng in the first episode, has been monitoring his progress. He insists that he'll be able to pass the test due to his incredible spirituality. Instructor Zhang is surprised to hear him say this, as Senator Zhu is a master of spirituality. In the prison, Luo Feng has a flashback to Yang Wu asking about a rare group of warriors who excel at spirituality, known as the Spirituality Masters. Instructor Zhang explains that they are rarely heard of because they are so rare and that they learn the genetic energy practices, as all warriors must, but also learn another type of energy, spirit energy, which means that they will always be more powerful than an ordinary warrior. He also explains that it is not something that can be taught. It is a gift that one either has or does not have, and not to worry about it until after they become warriors. Luo Feng then begins to meditate, practicing the 5 acupoints skyward. As he does this, he flashes back once more to Wu Tong, explaining that genetic energy practices are the reason that warriors are so much more powerful than a normal human being. He explained that the antibodies humans formed to fight the RR virus optimized their genes, allowing them to draw energy from the universe into their cells, and that this energy is what gives warriors their enhanced abilities. The 5 acupoints skyward is how they draw this energy in. Luo Feng continues to practice this in the prison cell. He begins to sweat and panic. He forces himself to be calm and connects with the universe. He feels his genes optimizing while, at the same time, Cobra is meditating in a similar fashion. He's let out of his cell, and as he's walked past Luo Feng's cell, he sends a snake-like shadow into Luo Feng's cell to attack him while he meditates.